Hey, this is Tila from Pretty and Paint School. Today I'm going to show you how to paint your cabinets. First thing you want to do is remove the hardwire. Make sure your surface is nice and clean. Now that our surface is nice and clean, we're going to give it a light sand, just enough to rough it up. Now that the surface is clean and ready to go, it's time to apply the primer. I like to use an enamel paint on my cabinets. This really holds up well to the wear and tear that they take. And the correct primer under that is the multi-purpose primer from Sherwin-Williams. In this case, I happen to have some gray primer in my stock. I'm going to use that because the client is doing a dark green color, and it's just going to help reduce the number of magic coats that I have to do. It's time to prep the doors. When you're doing your sanding, you're looking to really just sand down the shiny finish. You're not looking to strip down the wood. Now that we've cleaned and sanded the surfaces, it's time to prime. Anytime you're painting one of these surfaces, you're going to want to start with your brush on the little corners, followed by the roller to smooth out the even surfaces. want to make sure you get full and even coverage. After I do my roll, I just use my brush to go around the corners and make sure there's no product building up. Now that we've done our prime on the first side, we need to let it dry before we flip over to do the second side. Depending on your cabinets and what color you're going, you may need to do 2 coats of primer. Now that it's had time to dry, it's time to do the second side. Primer's dry, we're just going to give it a quick sand to ensure that our finished coat goes on as smoothly as possible. Now it's time to apply our product. Time to apply the second coat. Now that both coats are done, we'll flip it over and do the other side. You'll notice I did both coats before flipping. I just find it a little bit more time efficient that way when you're dealing with a small number. You can definitely do 1 coat flip, do 1 coat flip if that's what you want to do. For me, just works better because I usually have other things to do at the same time. So I can do 1 coat, let it dry a little bit, do another coat, and then let that dry a long time before the flip. So I'm waiting for the doors to dry, I'll work on the frame. Okay, so we've let the first coat dry. Now it's time to apply the second. Okay, now that everything's dried, we can put it back together. You might notice that this side of the doors still only has one coat on it. That's because I like personally to put them back on and apply the finish coat afterwards. That way I can get the touch-ups on both sides and just the touch-ups in general done at the same time. These dry out before we do our final round of touch-ups and putting the hardware back on. Okay, we're back and it's time to put on the hardware and finish up. We'll also put on some fresh rubber bumpers. We'll get these at home as well. One more round of touch-ups for good measure. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out the site for more resources and subscribe to stay up to date for new tips and tricks.